All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's weekly Everyman Crossword. Usually easier than the daily, and it's always a nice treat to try this on Sunday. Let's see what Everyman has for us. Chubby harpist, Edenic resident, unearthly being primarily. Well, I always call this Everyman's trademark clue type, where we're going to take the primary or first letters of the other words, and they spell out cherub, and those words describe, I suppose, chubby harpist. Very funny. All right, gives us a few starting letters. Fruit, North European for Tom Sawyer's pal. Well, that would be Huckleberry Finn, of course. So the fruit is a huckleberry, and the North European would be a Finn. That's a great one to get to. All right, Ken Starr, not quite liberal. No, definitely not. Extremely gross. Yeah, I wonder if it is another Ken. Oh, it could be a word for extremely gross ending in EST. Not quite liberal makes me think a word for liberal that doesn't finish. Ken Star. Yeah, the star with two R's. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to make of that. I'm also thinking extremely gross might be the outer letters of gross. G and S. Would they come at the end? Oh, star, of course. The other famous, more famous star would be Ringo. Not quite liberal, extremely. And of course, Ken is Scots for to know. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, Bastilles stormed, tougher than the rest. Okay, I think this is an EST word meaning tougher than the rest. An anagram of Bastilles. It might be IEST. We're going to have two. Oh, I wonder if it could be ballsiest. Is that right? I suppose that could be tougher than the rest. That's a good anagram. All right, back to the acrosses. Tiny something taken by secretary. I think it's a double definition. One meaning is tiny, and the other is something taken by a secretary. I think minute and minute. Do secretaries still take minutes in this day and age? I suppose they do. All right. Biblical lawgiver. Well, surely this is Moses. Saunters with yen to depart. Yeah, so Saunters could be Moses, but we remove the Y for yen, that departs. All right. Book with the writer supporting North African capital, not about Kenyan city. Well, I'm thinking, despite what the clue says, it is a Kenyan city. And could it be Nairobi? Yeah, and so maybe something for not goes about. I think supporting North might be just saying there's an N at the top, and African capital might be the A. And then, at the writer supporting might be I. The bit I'm not getting is not about. Oh, and the book might simply be B for a book of the Bible, I think can be abbreviated to B maybe, or just book in general. Yeah, I'm having trouble completely deciphering it. I'll leave it in, but we will see what we see. Oh, another one that goes all the way to the bottom. Inane, thick, taut, he misbehaves, grin and bear it. Well, inane, thick is 10 letters, taughty, he makes it 15. So I think it's an anagram of that, misbehaving. And it's going to mean grin and bear it. I'm wondering if it's take it on the chin, I think. I just saw the take, and yeah, I think that's probably right. All right. Oh, we have some great letters here. Jack's obstacle, making Cedric and Les tickled in part. So I presume it's an anagram of. Oh no, maybe it's a hidden clue. Cedric and Les. Ah, yes, and so hidden within Cedric and Les tickled, in part of that you have a candlestick, and Jack did jump over a candlestick. Yeah, I was thinking at first of Jack and the Beanstalk, but there we go. Now maybe this is Rin, Star not quite. Oh, maybe that's Ring, L for liberal, ringlet, but I don't get that. Yeah, okay. Everyman's going to heads having complaints. Everyman then referring to himself will be I or me. Going to heads, no, having I think it's going to be some medical complaints, perhaps. Oh, illnesses. Yes, so every man is, he might say I will or ILL, and then a geographic head can be a ness. Oops. So heads plural would be nesses. All right, express view in ode to a Christmas tree. Uh, express view goes so well together, but I wonder if it might be express to opine. Ah, I do see a Christmas tree might be a pine. I just don't get the view in ode. Is that telling us the first letter of ode? Oh no, I think yeah, to express your view is to opine, and you might begin an ode to a Christmas tree. Instead of saying "O Tannenbaum," you might say "O Pine." All right, slapdash, a bit. UEFA's only partly regular. The regular makes me think we're going to take the even or odd letters, but we don't have a B. Oh, we do have in a bit. Ah, yeah, so it's actually another hidden clue. I worked backwards from the B, um, and luckily I stopped thinking of every other letter, and I was looking at those letters. Habitue is a regular of an establishment. All right, drug-addled, greeting heard. Ah, well, if you're drug-addled, you might be high, and that's a homophone for HI, which is a greeting. Tax, Riverside protection, in announcement. Oh, might be another homophone. A Riverside protection. Not a bank or a dam, but is there some other thing you would put at the side of a river and it's going to sound like a tax. Of course, tax could be a verb. No. All right, leaves by Swish, old railway. Well, old is often O, and so since we have an O here, I'm thinking railway will follow as RY. And then we need a four-letter word for swish. What's that, like posh or swish? And then it's going to mean leaves. So I don't think it's the verb, otherwise it wouldn't end in O-R-Y. Of course, I could be completely wrong. Is there a word exitory? No. No, it must be leaves as in leaves on a tree. Topiary, but that's obviously not right. So now our tax, if that's right, would end in Y. No, I don't like my old railway. Okay, we'll come back to it. Kind of tense, ideal. Well, in grammar, there is the perfect tense, which is also ideal. Twerp, in middle of heath, finding track. So I think we're going to put a word for a twerp in the middle of a word for heath? Or could it actually go in the middle letters of heath? And that's going to find or give us a word for track, which could be the verb to track somebody, or a noun, a track, musical track, or a railway track, or a walking track. No. Coat, chicken. It must be a double definition. Chicken, of course, can mean yellow, scared, not brave. Coat can be something you wear or put on a coat of paint. I think you can call a chicken a fryer, is that right? Or no, maybe I'm thinking of something else, a boiler or something. There's some word for chickens that refers to how the poor things are going to end up cooked. But how would that be? Coat. No. All right, how about stop using smartphones, laptops, etc. question mark as if. So I think the straightforward definition is as if pigs might fly or something like that. But humorously, it might mean stop using smartphones, laptops, etc. What would be a phrase for that? No. What the crossword setter sees as exquisite friends. Well, friends could be pals. The only thing I'm wondering, because when I read what the crossword setter sees as, I think it's one of these clues we've seen before where the answer lends itself to some wordplay. And so pals is slap backwards, or for a down clue, slap up. But I don't know if slap up means exquisite. I just remember in all the comics, the Beano and the Dandy, if ever they came into some money, the kids would always want to order a slap up meal. That always, I mean, it's funnier now when I think about it. Um, But could that be right? Oh, I do see now my coat of paint could be a layer. And of course, a chicken can lay eggs. I think that's right. I'm just not sure about the slap pals, what the crossword setter sees as exquisite. I think it'll have to do for now. All right. Tangled dungarees. Well, that sounds like an anagram of dungarees, but that has 9 letters. Abandoned by Dutch. So is Dutch D or DU? Or could it be Netherlands, which is that NE? Anyway, causes vexation, I think, is going to be the definition and must end in S. Enrages. So Dutch must be DU. All right. King, extremely stuck up, beheaded, most awkward. Oh, I think we have another EST word. Yeah, extremely stuck could be the S and the K, and then is up telling us to reverse those. Yeah, but I think something is going to be beheaded, and it's going to mean most awkward, cringiest. No, I don't see that. Oath, if doing, perform honestly. I think it might be an oath like in God's, not in God's name. Oh yeah, it could be an anagram of if doing. Oh, maybe it's an anagram of oath if doing. Yeah, that performs, and it's going to mean honestly, of course, in good faith. Now I got it. All right. For himself. Oh, another king. That is to say, casual apparel. I'm wondering if it could be a onesie. We had that before, and I do remember on 15 Squared they put a photo of an adult wearing a onesie, so it's not just for babies. Yeah, so I think the king might say one for himself. Ones, I think the king's apostrophe S. And that is, I think, is IE. Yeah, I like that. All right, taking home fishing kit. I presume it's going to be an ING, and it's going to mean taking home, earning, reeling in, fishing kit. Oh, netting, I think. Yes, I think that's it. Schedule, a hill to climb. Yeah, so a schedule of things could be a rota, and it is a climbing or reversed version of a tor, with a tor being a, I think they're small hills generally, right? TOR. All right, Mary, after skipping starter, broken bread in Scandinavia. Could it be bread in Scandinavia? I don't know any Scandinavian. I thought broad, BROD, is that the Swedish for bread. But merry, I think it might be a word for merry after skipping or losing its starting letter. Broken seems like an anagram. Not sure about that. All right. Cheers. Drink, then Eastern casserole. Yeah, I think I thought the drink might be gin, and then Eastern would be an E. And I think cheers in Britain, you might say ta. Think I've heard of maybe tagine. I'm going to pause and look that up. Yes, well, Wikipedia says it's a mainstay of Sephardic cuisine, but I also see a Moroccan tagine, and I may be saying that completely wrong. All right, so that word must be it. I think, yeah, you might say to someone when you completely disagree with what they're saying, you might say come off it, which might also be read as come off IT, information technology. It's a bit of a stretch. And I don't think as if has exactly the same meaning as come off it, but I suppose in some contexts it would. All right, twerp. Oh, I think that's going to be a knit, maybe? Yeah, in the middle of a moor. I'm just wondering how I think as a verb, if you track news or figures or whatever, you're monitoring them. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Ooh, now my leaves. Ah, chicory. I didn't know what chicory was, but it must be leaves of some, it's a herb, is it? And so swish is chic, and it was the old railway. I just think of Chicory Tip and Son of My Father. What a great song that was. All right, tax Riverside protection now in announcement. Yeah, I'm still not. I'm going to have to go, I think, to wordplays.com and find what four-letter words have the E and the Y like that. I think I'm going to pause first and just run through the alphabet and think of the first letter and see if anything comes to me. Okay, I got as far as L, and of course, a levee can be a tax, and drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. All right. Here was our extra. So it must be, extremely gross might be rankest. So I think it's Ken star not quite. So just take Ken plus STAR, and liberal is an anagram indicator. And we get rankest. All right, just two left. My king, extremely stuck up. Beheaded. Most awkward. Well, king, I think is going to begin with K or R for king. Most awkward. I don't. Naughtiest might be. Yeah, I was thinking most awkward as in an awkward situation, but the most awkward to untangle or solve. So the king, I think, is the K. Extremely stuck up is snottiest, and that has its S removed. I think that's how that works. All right, Mary, after skipping starter, broken bread in Scandinavia. Could be a bread in Scandinavia. What's Mary? And and broken too is, are we going to lose the first letter of a word for Mary and then break it or anagram it to get our Scandinavian? No, I think for the last one, I am going to use wordplays.com to see, because I'm not thinking of any word that fits that pattern. All right, it is bread in Scandinavia, but not the bread you eat, but slang for money. I think it's krona. Ah, and it's the word broken. I should have realized with the K and the O and the E. So the word broken skips its starter, and then Mary is an anagram indicator for those 5 letters. All right, well, we don't have the check this button, unfortunately, for Everyman. Fairly confident, but there were some I didn't fully understand. If you do, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you as always for watching and have a great day.